this is Rick from Ride Out Racing. It's been a while since my last video, so I thought I'd just do a video and show some of the updates that I've done recently. First, I'm now making these motorized lint roller tire cleaners. I have one located at each driver station. The tire cleaner is activated when you press down on the black floating plate, which turns on the motor and rotates the lint roller. Around on the back side there's a reverse switch. This reverse switch is used to reverse the rotation of the lint roller, which just makes it easier to pull off the dirty sheet, exposing the new sheet underneath. And when you're ready to clean the tires, you just pick up your car, set the front of the car on the black plate. That will energize the motor, rotating the lint roller. Let it do its job for a few seconds, and then there you go, clean tires. Then just set the car back on the track and away you go. I'm now running the new SmartRace Connect 4.0 app. There's been a lot of improvements on moving and resizing the widgets. There's a lot more you can do now with the looks of the screen. On the left of the iPad, I now have a lap and fuel percentage posted. Since we're running the fuel simulator, I thought it would be helpful to have a cheat sheet on how much fuel you need for the laps left to run. This is a 3D printed part that I did, and it's just clips onto the iPad with these clips on the back. They're held on with double-sided sticky tape, and just clip it onto the iPad. The paper slides down into grooves on each side and holds it, so I can print whatever I needed to say and slide it in there. And this gives you a quick way to look and see how much fuel you need for the number of laps that are left. Next up is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and this ended up being a lot more involved and took me a lot longer to get working than I thought it would. When the caution and pace car come out, I want the pit entrance to be disabled so that no one can enter the pits. I also found that the pace car would creep forward during the race and eventually move out into the track and get hit. So in the past, I've had to have a kill switch to shut the power off to the pace car when it wasn't needed, to prevent it from moving out into the track. I've tried several different pace cars, and all of them have creeped out of the pits and ended up getting hit. I now have a pit light that lights green when the pits are open, and you can also notice in the background the pace car has the lights off because there's no power going to it. So now if I press the caution button, the pit light goes red and the lights on the pace car come on, which means it now has power going to it. Now what you can't see is that the LED sensor on the pit entrance has now been cut. So now it's impossible for cars to enter the pits because the sensor will not see the car going over it. Alright, here's what it takes to do this. Under the layout I have 10 relays. These relays are in groups of 2. I got these relays off of Amazon, and they're pretty cool because they need either a high 12 volts or a low ground signal to operate. I have mine set up as operating on a low signal. So the caution buttons used to be wired directly to my control unit, and I have a video on how I did that. But now the caution buttons are wired directly to the first relay, and that supplies a low to activate it. The first relay then turns on all the other relays. Now the second relay is wired as a latching relay, which means that once it comes on, it then supplies a low to the first relay, keeping it on for eternity, or when the loop of wire supplying the low to the first relay is cut or goes open. I'll mention this loop of wire again in a minute. The third relay powers the pace car. The fourth relay cuts the wire to the pace entrance sensor. The fifth relay now goes to the control unit's start button, which used to be wired directly to the caution button. This relay only stays on as long as the caution button is held down. It's a momentary contact only. The sixth relay powers the red and green pit light, and the seventh relay actually cuts the power to all the motorized Lint Roller tire cleaners. I didn't want anyone grabbing their car while following the pace car and cleaning their tires right quick. Relays 8, 9, and 10 are spares. Alright, here's what happens when we press the caution button on the relays.
Red flag.
All the relays came on and stayed on, except for number 5, which came on momentarily and then dropped off. I'm going to bring the pace car out, and if you notice down there at the pit entrance, the light is red, so you cannot enter the pits at this moment. The sensor wire has been cut. So here's the relays. Now watch, when the pace car pulls in, it automatically drops the relays, the light goes green, the pits can now be entered. And this kills the power to the pace car. From a different angle, pace car is going to pull into the pits. You'll see the headlights go off, and the power is now off to the pace car. How this works is I've rewired the switch going into the pace car pit lane. So this part is live. There's now a detection block right there that when it hits the detection block, it drops the relays, which kills the power to the pace car, turns the light green for the pits, and the pit switch is now functional. The tire cleaners are now functional. Alright, I'll show you where the detection block is. I move the car. Right there is 2 gaps, and that is a detection block. I used a Digital Racing Solutions lane gate for the pit entry to monitor this little detection block. Remember that loop of wire that holds my latching relay? That latching relay loop of wire goes through terminals D and E on this here lane gate. Normally D and E goes to the LED sensor on the switch, but now we're using it to hold the relays on until this thing detects current flow, and then these open and it drops our relay. I can also drop or disable the relays with this on and off switch. This was originally the pace car kill switch. Here's the power supplies that I use. The white one on the right is what I use to power the Carrera track. We're running at 12.8 volts, and the black one is a new one that I just got, and it powers the relays, and I also use it then to power all the Lint Roller tire cleaners. A couple of other things that I've done since the last race is I've lengthened the pit lane for the pace car. It used to just be like one section long. There was times the pace car would travel all the way through the pits and come out the other side and get hit. Hopefully that won't happen anymore with the longer pit lane. I've modified the pits to get fuel. Used to be the 2 pit switches were right on top of each other or right after each other, and there was 2 full sections of dual lane to get fuel. So what I did is I used 3 of the 1/3 sections, and I cut one in half to make it a single lane. So as it goes through the first switch, it actually has a 1/3 section before the next switch, and that makes it a lot better for the LED to see the car and be able to pull into whatever pit lane you want to pull into. And just for fun, we're going to be racing for a cup the next time we get together. In this case, it's going to be either a coffee cup or a can koozie. My wife and I have taken up a new hobby called sublimation printing, and we're printing these cups and t-shirts and just anything we can find. So we are always looking for a reason to print something. So the lucky winner of the evening's championship is going to win a cup, or they're going to win this here t-shirt. They can choose between a cup or a t-shirt. So we're also just for fun making these shirts and gonna give one away. All right, that's about it with the updates. If you're still watching, thank you, and we'll see you next time.